Okay, so what we've got here is a relatively wide worksheet, and you can kind of see as we kind of scroll over that it is pretty wide there. And it's something that we've already kind of set up to print on a few pages. So if I go into my View tab, go to my page break preview, you can kind of see how we've already got it broken down into that. And then the other thing, what we also have is because we've got it broken into those many sections, we have column A being repeated on all the pages. And to see that, I just go over to page layout, go to my print titles. You can kind of see how we've got row 1 being repeated on every page, which we really don't need because we don't have the page breaks going that way. But at least for the columns, we got column A being repeated. All right? So that's how that works. Now, the thing is that if you happen to have a title that was going along the very top of this all the way across, then you'd see the title being chopped up. You'd see maybe on this page here, part of the title, and then this page here, you see that part of the title and so forth. So what we did was we went out of our way to not putting a title in, and instead we're going to rely on using a header for the title. The header is something that gets repeated at the top of every page. So what will happen is the 3 pages will be printed out, and each one of them will have the full title at the top. See? So how do we go about doing that? How do we go about putting a header at the top of this? Well, what we do is we go back into the View tab, all right, and we go into something called Page Layout. Now this is a view. A lot of people prefer, some people will be in this view just when they're just doing regular everyday work with the program, because it gives them a sense of, wow, here's my piece of paper, here's what's fitting on page 1, here's what's fitting on page 2, and so forth. So you can actually see those repeating headings on all 3 of these pages. If I zoom out a little bit here, you can see that a little bit better. All right. So what happens now is that what we want to do is we want to put some sort of a title here, other than just Retail Sales 2020. It defaults to that. That's actually the sheet name that you see up at the top there, and at the bottom on what they call the footer, you'll see the page number. So you see page 1, page 2, and page 3. Now to put something else other than that up there, what we can do is we can just kind of click up there a couple times there, and you'll see how the code, the @tab code, gives us what's on the tab there. See? So what we're going to do is we're going to change that, and we're going to put something like maybe Lahaina total sales, 2020 or something like that, right? Now, by putting it there, it also repeats on all the other pages, right? So I click away from it, there it is, right? Now, that's not very prominent here, so what we'll do is we'll click back on there again, get it highlighted, and then what we can do is we can go over here to the Home tab and go ahead and make it a little bit larger. So maybe go something like that and make it bold. And you can also change the color too. So if you've got a color printer and you want to have it in color, you can find a color and do that. And once you've done that, you can click away from it. Now, if you find that this is maybe a little bit too close to your numbers here, what you can do is you can go off on the side here. I don't know if you can see this, like right about, oh, I got to get clicked on here. Right about right here, you can kind of see how it says the top margin. Now, if I get that double-tipped arrow, hold down my mouse, and pull it down a little bit like this, then you'll see everything get kind of pulled down there. So that helps. And then, of course, if you wanted to, you go back in there and make that maybe a tad bigger if you'd like. And then click away from it, and there it goes. Now, down towards the bottom, we have the footer, and that just has the page number in it. Now, we can go in there and we can kind of modify this whole thing. When you click onto this area here, we go into the design, and we have a number of different codes and things that we can put down there. So maybe at the bottom right-hand corner, let's first of all do this. We'll take this one here, we'll delete that, all right? And then over here, we'll type in the word page, hit a space, and then put in there page number, this guy right here. And when we click away from there, you can kind of see the page number pop up there. Now, a lot of times people have trouble when they print something out. They're not quite sure what the file was that they printed. All right, so kind of a handy little footer code that we can put in. We'll go here at the bottom left-hand corner here, okay? And here we can go ahead and we can tell we want to put the file path, okay? Hit the space bar, the file name, space bar, and then the sheet name. There we go. Now when you click away from it, you'll see all that going. Now, this is pretty bad because the file that I'm using is pretty deep in folders, but you get the idea with this. I mean, we could probably click onto that code, and maybe what I'll do is I'll get rid of the path. We won't do the path on that. So I'll just delete that out. And that way we'll just have the @ file. So now when I click away from it, it's a little bit better. I could also click onto it and go back into my home tab and reduce the size a little bit. Oh, wrong way. Reduce the size, maybe make it about like that. Click away from in there, it's a little bit smaller. So that would be a thought. But yeah, if you've got files that are buried pretty deep, that might not be the best one to use. But still, if anything that you put in there would be just the file name, that'd be fine. And again, you could do that. We could just go back in there again, just delete the whole code, go back into design, and just tell that we want the file name. That's all we want. All right. Click away from it. There's your file name. All right. And that might work out a lot better. And if that's all you're going to have down there, then maybe what we could do is we could take the page number here, and we can just do a Control X, and that'll cut that. Go to here and do a Control V, and then click away from it, and that'll work. All right, so we can keep it like that if we wanted to. Now, another thing we can do is we can actually put like a company logo maybe down here in the corner if you wanted to. So we can click onto that area there, right? Go back up into our Design tab, and in there you'll see something called Picture, right? So we click on a picture. We go and hunt for, so we'll go from File. I go to my desktop, all right? And there's one there. We'll click on that, hit Insert, and now when we click away from it, you'll see that. That's kind of interesting. So a neat little logo in the corner, just like that. And now later on when you go to print this whole thing out, we'll just go back to File. We'll click on to Print. And there's our first page. And then we'll look at the second page and the third page. There we go. Perfect. So good stuff there. So hopefully some of this can help you with your printing situations, a little troubleshooting if anything. Appreciate you watching the video. Take care.